Ryan Sparks. He's the crew chief for Corey LaJoy. And Chris, you want to start us off?
Yeah. So first question, and more of a basic one that everyone asks. What really got you into racing?
Oh man. Well, at a young age, I started going to Bowman Gray Stadium, working on open wheel modifieds for Bobby Hutchins. He was a family friend, and he was a mechanical engineer. And I kind of liked what he did. He raced cars himself. He worked on race cars. He worked at RCR on Dale Earnhardt's car, who was kind of all of our idols at some point in time, if you enjoy NASCAR racing. So, shadowed him for a long time. And I knew pretty early that I wanted to be in racing. And, I really liked the engineering route, and that's kind of the way I went. And fortunately, it led into a crew chief role.
That's awesome. Yeah. And obviously you mentioned RCR and your past with RCR. Did he have any influence with you getting in there, or did you kind of get in there yourself?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So he was still VP of competition when I got on at RCR. I started out as a data acquisition engineer right out of college. And, I worked on Clint Boyer's on the '07 car doing data acquisition. That's back when we tested about every week. And then the next year I moved to the 29 car and did data on Harvick's car. And then in 2010, Austin went truck racing, and I was kind of the next engineer in line to get a race engineering position. And I just transitioned into that role, and I stayed with Austin all the way through Cup and until 2019.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. I'll let anyone else take over from there if you guys want to ask them. So I'm sure I'm super excited. All of a sudden.
Yeah, I only got excited because like Clint Boyer's '07 car. I've always been a fan of the Jack Daniels car. But anyway, so you work with many drivers for many years. What was like your favorite moment or like win or whatever while working at RCR and being an engineer?
Oh man, that's tough. Had some big ones with Austin. Obviously the Daytona 500, it's hard to top that. It's the freaking Daytona 500. Engineering wise, it's like, a lot of it's luck, being in the right place at the right time at a speedway race, but they're so hard to win. So that was pretty special, and just being able to, add that to my resume. But the Coke 600 win for us, we had like a 7th or 8th place car all day, and then, did some strategy and did some fuel mileage stuff that we'd really been working hard on in the engineering department, and it paid off. And got that win. And we actually ran out of gas coming out of 4 and was able to beat Kyle Busch by, 20 car lengths or something like that. So that was pretty special to me. And those two. And then probably the first truck win at Iowa with Austin, that was pretty cool. So just to, be on his team and get his first win in one of the big 3 series. So that was pretty special as well.
That's awesome for sure. You guys
do you have so you work with Austin most of the time, and I don't want to assume it, but is he your favorite driver you've worked with?
I mean, yeah, really, I guess he's like the one I've worked with the longest. I really like working with Corey. I like his demeanor. He's a really good guy. He's passionate. His relationship, him and I's relationship is kind of similar to what Austin and I had. We can get on each other and tell each other we're wrong and not get mad about it. We know that we're trying to better the race car, and so I really like his passion, and I'm sure I look to work with him for a long time. And like I said, I enjoy working with him, but I had a lot of years with Austin under my belt, and him and I are still really good friends, and we talk before and after every race, and just kind of try to help each other out when we can. So we still have a really good relationship.
Awesome. You want to go? Yeah, go ahead, Caden.
Yeah, I was just going to ask about your race weekend. I know it was your best finish of the season with Corey LaJoy on that 7 team. So how was your race weekend overall?
No, it was good. It's really tough with the way they set the lineup for the races. It's depending on your points, your last week's finishing position, and then your fast lap of the previous race. So our luck has been terrible, which I understand you make a little bit of your own luck, but we just hadn't executed very well all year. And it was unfortunate. Had a really good run going at Martinsville, ran in the top 10 for a little bit, and caution came out and got caught up in some mess on pit road and tore the nose off. So, that just kind of ruined our day, but I felt like we were capable of finishing 10th. And that would really set us up nice for Richmond. And just, coming from 36 is so hard. It's hard to stay on the lead lap by the competition caution. Just the pace is so much slower back there in the dirty air. It's really hard to get going. But we caught a good caution. We didn't pit it. Our plan was to split the second stage in half and not do thirds, just because the huge risk of getting a caution and trapping you a couple laps down, which is what happened to a lot of the guys. But it set us up for the rest of the race. And 21st was a decent day. I feel like we expect ourselves to be there. Realistically, that's probably around where we should be. But we want to get 15 and just keep improving.
Yeah. Nick, do you want to go? Or
Oh yeah, I can go ahead. So my first question, obviously we talked a bit about your time at RCR. I was just wondering sort of what kind of insight and what sort of help you can provide coming from a massive team like RCR into a sort of new building team like Spire.
Yeah, so coming from a bigger team to a smaller team, obviously it's a totally different mindset. And I got a little bit of a dose of a small team last year with working with Go Fast and Corey over there in the 32 car. But it really, the biggest difference is people, right? You have so many people. Everybody there is like specified to one job, right? Where now I got, one guy that may do 10 jobs, right? So we're very limited on time, and when you're like that, you gotta be really smart on how you plan and make sure you're not only just getting to the racetrack, but you got to better the cars throughout the season, because that's what all the big teams are doing, because they have so much people and time and effort put into the cars. So in the grand scheme of things, it's really hard to keep up with that. But I think we've done a decent job. I mean, we got the keys to the building on December 1st and had literally nothing in the shop. And, it's a fully operating shop now. We had a little bit of a mess with COVID. Knocking some guys out. I missed Homestead race, so that was tough to call from literally from my bedroom. But we're getting there. But Spire's here for the long run. They want to build a competitive race team, and they realize that Hendrick and RCR and Gibbs. I mean, they've been doing it RCR has been around 50 years. You know what I'm saying? So that's a long, long time to catch up. But I think we can build a successful program over the next few years, especially with the next gen car coming and having a common car. I think that'll help a lot, and just kind of NASCAR slowing down the development process and things like that.
Yeah, you point out go ahead, Nick. Sorry.
Okay, yeah. My other question was obviously being a relatively new crew chief and coming from a job as an engineer, I was just wondering what the learning curve was like, because I'm sure there was a big step up in sort of pressure, the workload, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I do a lot of the same job that I did as an engineer, except now it's a crew chief's role. This day and age is more managing people. Now I have a group of 25 guys that look up to me, and they're waiting on answers from me. What to do to the car this week, and it's on my shoulders. Whereas an engineer, you're just kind of feeding all the information to the crew chief to make the decisions. Right now, I'm that guy. I have an engineering background, so I understand the data and everything coming in. But now I'm having to make those decisions. But the transition wasn't that bad. Calling the races, like I love doing that anyways. Like I'm really into the strategy, and I like to be a little creative and do things differently than most. So it definitely can be difficult, and I think it would be more difficult maybe back in the day, but now that I feel like the sport is more engineering driven, that it kind of played to my hand a little bit.
Yeah. So talking about strategy and setups and this and that, and especially with going from, we've had Bristol Dirt, Martinsville, and Richmond, and now we're going to Talladega. What's one big thing you have to try to figure out to do to the cars week in and week out, especially when, like I said, going from the short tracks to the big super speedways?
Yeah, obviously it'll be a totally different mindset this weekend. But whether it's a short track or super speedway, the mindset is heavily based on aerodynamics. It's the most important thing, sadly to say. Obviously we still got to put mechanical grip in the cars with the setups, but we've all been around long enough. We have simulation, we can optimize the setups, but just to spend those extra hours in the Hawkeye to optimize your body and just making sure you're getting the most downforce or the most, not necessarily the most downforce, but the most efficient car, downforce versus drag, whether you want to trim out or not, just kind of depending on weather conditions and stuff like that. It's all super important. But obviously this weekend we'll be as trimmed out as we can and trying to make as much speed as we can down in Talladega.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then do you guys have anything else? Because I know I can do a couple more. No?
Yeah, you
No?
can go ahead.
No. All right. Oh no, Troy? No? His mic's muted.
Try your mic muted, bro.
Making this seem unprofessional. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's me. I'm home time. I had a question and then I completely forgot it. So Chris, do one more. I'll try.
All right.
Typical Troy stuff.
Trust me, I got a million things on. I forget stuff all the time. That's why I got to write it down.
Yeah. So, and then going back, talking about setups and all this and that, and you also mentioned the next gen car. What's one big thing you're probably most excited for with that next gen car coming next year?
I don't know. It's I'm excited that it's going to be common across the board. The chassis, obviously, the body will be a little different depending on your manufacturer, but you'll have the same amount of downforce, drag, or whatever as the other. They build that into the spec from per NASCAR or whatever. So it's exciting to have some knowing that you have the same equipment as everybody, but I don't know. I don't know what to think yet. It kind of takes some of the creativity out of it and ingenuity and stuff like that we've all been trying to bend the rules and get around. And I'm sure we'll still do that. And we'll just have to find a different way to do it, So some of the bigger teams are already testing, doing, tire tests and structural tests, endurance tests on the car for NASCAR. So it's still, the little guys don't have their hands on it yet. They've never seen it. So it's still going to be a pretty big mountain to climb for a smaller team. I do think as far as lap time wise, the gap will be closed a little bit and it'll be a little bit more in the driver's hands. So I like that part of it. But it's still too early to tell for me. I got to wait till later in the year when we actually get our hands on the car and do some testing.
Yeah, that'll be not too far with the templates for all three being released soon. So that'll be pretty exciting to see that.
Yeah, I think we'll get our first car in June and we'll probably do a test in September, October or something like that.
That's awesome. That's exciting to hear because so much is being built up on this new car and what it can do competition wise with everyone, like you mentioned.
Yeah, I think you'll see like more and more road racing. I'm interested to see like when we go to Martinsville and you're beating and banging how the independent rear suspension, how's it going to handle that style of racing? Like, I don't know. It'll definitely be interesting to see how it stacks up and if you'll be able to make contact or race as hard as you do now on some of the short tracks. So I think it's still up in the air if it'll go to the dirt race or not. Obviously, they've announced they're going to do another one of those, and it was cool. I enjoyed dirt race. I've dirt raced with my niece over the past few years and had a lot of fun with that. But I don't know if it's meant for Sunday, so I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I would say there's a few drivers that definitely voiced their opinion about that. I know I listened to Corey's podcast, so I definitely heard his take on the timing of the start of the race when we did have the Bristol dirt race, and he wasn't too fond of that. No,
it needed to be at night. The sun is just it dried out the track way too quick and super. It was a dust bowl. You couldn't see anything. It was tough.
Even from watching at home and in the cameras, you could barely even see who they're pointing at. It was terrible in my opinion.
Yeah, I think nighttime would have fixed a lot of that.
Yeah, I was there and I went straight down to like the bottom of the bleachers right behind the fence, and they went right through the turn. It was crazy. Is when dirt went everywhere.
You were covered in dirt.
Yeah, I was sitting in front of the fence for the final 50 laps, and I had to take a break a couple times, just like turn around, just like wipe like dirt out of my eyes and stuff like that. It got really bad at some points.
But they didn't race it like a dirt track. They're right around the bottom, and they drove the car super straight. They're just not designed to be driven sideways. They're big, heavy cars. It's just they're made to be on asphalt. But hey, a lot of the fans did love it, and if they kind of drive our sport, and I'm good with it, and TV enjoyed it, then that's what we'll do.
Yeah, it's definitely seemed interesting. I think the truck guys. I mean, granted, Truex drove it like a pavement track, but the rest of the truck guys, yeah, Caden brag. The rest of the guys tried to drive it more like as if they're going to Eldor or this and that. So I think Knoxville will be interesting to see how they do out there.
Yeah, and the trucks, they got a few years under their belt, doing that, and so they probably optimize their trucks a little more than we have. Just a lot of the Cup guys, even though we're in Cup, we have less experience at it. So, but
yeah,
as you can kind of see, the cream always rises to the top. The good drivers always seem to find a way.
Yeah, so we definitely see Corey get up near the front on the short tracks. We all know that was his bread and butter growing up. So it's always nice to see, because and these three always give me, or not really give me slack for it, but I always put him in my top 5 for drivers wise the past couple of years. So it's nice to see when the team and him are able to get up near the front.
Yeah, when you take aero out of the equation, like they do on short tracks, it gives us an opportunity, right? It creates an opportunity. It just takes one of the elements away that is kind of stacked against us each and every week. And old Super Shoe, he's a pretty damn good short track racer. He's got a lot of wins under his belt. And as you can see at Martinsville, we start back there and we drove all the way to 10th. We had a good car. That's personally my favorite track. Not that I put any more effort in there than I do everywhere else, but we spent a lot of time on that race car, and was really proud of our effort, even though it didn't, the finish didn't show it. I feel like a lot of teams knew we were there for sure.
Yeah.
I heard you say this, old Super Shoe. Is that the nickname you gave Corey?
Oh, no, Corey, that's his name, like his nickname, I guess you could say, is Super Shoe. That logo, we always give him a hard time. It's like an S, and then it has it looks like it's a triangle, but we call him Super Pizza sometimes, or pick at him or something like that. But yeah, Super Shoe, that's kind of what they called him back in the day, short track racing. So I'll call him Shoe or Super Shoe, especially when he does something good. So
talking about joking around a little bit and all this and that, and I'll let Nick or Caden ask this question, because this is always one of our favorite questions to ask anyone we have on.
I think I did it last week or 2 weeks ago, so I'll let Caden take it for this time.
Do you have any funny stories at the track from being around? We do this every week with, not every week, but every time we have a guest on, we do this. So do you have any funny stories to tell us?
About Corey?
Or
just about
Corey or being at the track?
Any race in general.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. I'm sure there's a million. It's less now because we don't practice. We're not there all weekend.
COVID.
Yeah.
That seems to be the trend with everybody. I feel
you're
like
not the first person to say that. They're saying that.
Honestly, in the Cup garage, when you walk in the door to work, or in the garage, excuse me, it is balls to the wall as fast as you can go, and just you're busy. So I don't know. I can't think of one right off the top of my head, to be honest with you. I don't know. Like I said, I'm sure I'll think of it later as soon as I get off. But
I had another question anyway, just to throw in. We talked about it a few episodes ago, and there were definitely some mixed reactions. I was just wondering what your thoughts were about the street course idea.
I think it's an awesome idea. I think it's cool. I think a lot of the tracks on the circuit are awesome already. There's a lot of places I don't think we should go twice. I'd rather go to a new place. Street course is awesome. I'm pretty, at least Atlanta wears tires out, right?
Thank you.
At least it has something
that.
unique.
I more lean on Texas. I'm not a big fan of Texas.
No, Texas used to be awesome before they paved it. It was fast, wore tires out. It was pretty cool. It's boring. I'm disappointed the All-Star race is going to be boring.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hate to say that. I want to pump everybody up about the All-Star race.
Yeah, we all know that one.
Yeah.
restrictor plates on the cars for Texas
the dirt
All-Star
race should have
race.
been the All-Star race or something like that. You know what I mean?
That, I could get behind. I also don't think we need 7 road courses on the schedule, but
I disagree. I'm a big
I like
road course
road
guy. Caden does like road.
I like
courses.
road course racing. Creates an opportunity to bring a strategy into it, but I'm no road racer by any means. I've learned something new every time, setup wise, to make the car better or worse. I'm learning on that aspect all the time, just because I didn't grow up doing it. I just I feel like NASCAR, their bread and butter is turning left. I'm not against having some road courses, but I'm with you. I don't know about adding a bunch of them for sure.
I'm more lean the team of I'm more short tracks, because that's just
I can agree with that. Yeah, anyone can agree with that.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward
we
to
can all
what
agree.
Fontana brings, with
Yeah.
that short track. That'll be interesting. I would more Martinsville, night races too.
Yes.
More short tracks
100%.
under the lights, please.
Yes.
Richmond, I like Richmond. It is a tough place to get a hold of. But I mean, believe it or not, it's pretty aero dependent there. Phoenix, I consider a small intermediate track. Super aero is super important there. But like Martinsville, obviously you can knock your right front fender off and actually go faster because you're cooling your tire better.
Yeah.
Bristol,
Yeah.
asphalt, I used to be a huge fan of. Racing isn't quite as good there. I'm not a fan of the PJ1 stuff. I just don't like it. It just
Seems artificial.
yeah, I don't know. It's like it comes up during the race, your balance changes, you got a good car, and then when the PJ1's gone, you're no good anymore. And I don't know. It just I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to recreate old Bristol. Oh, guess what? We should have just not ruined Bristol.
They did a better job with that with the dirt than they did with the PJ1.
Oh yeah, I mean they've knocked you out of the way on dirt or whatever. That's basically the only way you could pass. So, I really enjoy like Gateway, ORP. I would much rather go to ORP than Indy Road Course. That is the biggest letdown of the NASCAR schedule this year, going to the Indy Road Course. The
What's
Brickyard
ORP?
400 is terrible to watch as a fan or being at the racetrack. You can't see anything, and the racing's not that good, but it's still Indianapolis, right? It's like the prestige.
They'll
like,
never drop it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Road
that's the
course
only
or
difficult part.
Brickyard, I feel like they won't.
That's the hardest part with the NASCAR schedule is Indy in general.
No matter how bad that track is, no matter what they do to it, it's all
for stock cars.
Yeah, if for stock cars.
Yeah.
They're never gonna drop it just because it's Indy, obviously. But what did you say? What's OPR?
ORP.
ORP.
Oregon.
It's in Indy too. It's just a short track a few miles away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's
it's right next to the drag strip or whatever.
Yeah, that's a Saturday night under the lights. Everyone's gonna be fans of each other after the race.
Yeah,
that's an amazing track.
Amazing track.
That Auto Club short track is sounding cool too. Like, cause isn't it like built like Martinsville, but has the banking of Bristol?
It's going to be that combination. That's what they're projecting it to be. With a slight, there's going to be like the slightest front stretch turn.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Really?
It'll be interesting. I mean, like I said, more short tracks, I'm good with it. It creates better racing.
Yeah.
100%.
The super speedways are exciting because everybody wrecks, right? I mean, people like to watch that. They're 3x3 and, it just whatever, but I don't really like it. But
how are you feeling about Talladega coming up? Speaking of super speedways.
So, I mean, honestly, we're not going to be up there fighting for the win all race because we know they're going to wreck, right? So in the points position we're in, we could use the stage points, and it's
better to go for the win than just to go for points overall.
I mean, I'd rather be there at the end, right? And obviously stage points don't pay any money either. So even if you get the same amount of points, you could run up front, get stage points, but wreck out early, or you could not get stage points and be there at the end and get the same amount of points, finish higher up, and you get a better paycheck. You know what I mean? So there's a little bit of that aspect in it too. You got to be mindful of, and at the end of the day, nobody gets a crap where you finish in the stage. It's all where you finish at the end of the day. So
yeah, for sure.
I don't want another Daytona 500 though, too.
What's that?
Back sometimes you don't want another Daytona 500.
Yeah, not from this year.
Yeah.
13. Oh, that sucked.
That was that made it a hard race to watch once they got back.
I was mad because
yeah.
he watched the race for 13 laps and then left.
I watched 13 laps and I watched the final couple in the hotel.
Oh, so you're there.
I was there, yeah. I was at the entire Speed Weeks, and I had to go home because we were driving home and stuff like that and working school. So I couldn't really stay for late at night for whenever
I got you.
But
Yeah, Daytona, man, freaking always has a rain delay.
Yeah, it seems like. Yeah.
And it's just not what it used to. Now, last year when Trump came was pretty cool. That place was going crazy. There was a ton of people, and I don't know, just the vibe at the tracks now without the fan. It just ain't without the fans. Just ain't the same, you know. So hopefully, like I think at Darlington, we're actually getting people in the garage again. So that'll be nice.
Yeah, that's what the reports are saying. So that'll be cool to see.
And Darlington coming up soon, isn't it? After Talladega, or is that Kansas after Talladega?
Kansas after
we go
Talladega.
Kansas, Dover, then Darlington, I believe.
Yeah, that'll be nice to see.
Oh, Dover ruins a stretch of good races.
Wow.
Wait,
I mean it's pretty badass to be there in person, but the race is terrible, right? You can't pass.
Yeah.
It's but I mean they are very fast there, and just to kind of see the car drop off into one is pretty impressive. But I'm with you. It's not a great race, which is obviously probably why they moved one to Nashville. Which I don't think Nashville Super Speedway is going to provide you with a much better race to watch. Personally,
Fairgrounds, though.
The Fairgrounds would be Nashville. Sick.
Yeah,
and I think eventually it'll be something to do with the Fairgrounds, if not a street course in downtown Nashville. Eventually, I think they're trending that way.
That'd be crazy. All right.
Yeah.
Shoot. I don't know what your time situation is.
I'm good, man. I'm home now. It's not past my bedtime yet, but I'm good to go. I'm
past Troy's bedtime. He's like 12.
What's that?
Just working on Troy. We're just messing with Troy.
So where are y'all from?
Me and Nick are from Canada.
Oh, my engineer is from Canada.
He's a cool guy.
See, then Troy's from Jersey, and then I'm from Michigan. So
okay,
yeah,
right on.
When I heard the news of the Chicago street course, I was a little sad about that, with Penske's comments right before NASCAR announced that, and how he wanted to get a doubleheader, and I was like, Belle Isle, Motor City, what? But then they announced Chicago, and I was like, dang, that would have been crazy. But yeah, we're all scattered about, so it's kind of fun.
So how'd y'all get hooked up on this doing this podcast together then?
Go ahead, Troy.
You orchestrated?
So like a couple years ago, I created like a group chat on Instagram, and all these guys decided they wanted to join it. So we've kind of developed a friendship, and fast forward like September last year, I kind of want to.
September? It was like May, dog.
No, it was like
it was like May when I talked about it in the one group chat.
I think we started in like July or August.
Yeah, it was definitely summer months.
Yeah,
because it was just before playoffs.
It was
so we wanted to expand, so we started a podcast.
That's cool.
It's definitely been a ride so far.
Yeah, it's been fairly enjoyable. I really do like it. It definitely keeps me more involved. Oh yeah. It always gets better around playoff time. Playoff time is like prime podcast because you always got all the predictions.
We all got different drivers. It's all
Y'all do like DraftKings and stuff too, or no?
We have our own like
we have our own fantasy
in the group or in the podcast, but nothing crazy.
Not to brag, but I went from last to second right now. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
long way to go, man.
Yeah, it's
been leading just about all season.
I'll come back.
And he's gonna come back in the playoffs. He's gonna go from fourth, like 10 points back, and he's gonna just beat us by like 5 points each.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Oh,
but I think we're
pretty good. I don't have anything
good.
else.
Yeah, if you want to shout out, anyways, people can get a hold of you social media wise and this and that, where to find you.
Yeah, obviously you can catch everything I'm doing at Spire Motorsports, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and then my Instagram and Facebook and Twitter is rsparks_7. Usually try to give a little update every now and again. You'll probably see a lot of my niece, Cassidy. She does some legend car racing. She's going to start this year. That's actually where I was today. So after work, we rented a track outside of Charlotte Motor Speedway and did a test session with her. She just turned 12, hopping in a legend car. She did some dirt racing over at Millbridge Speedway the last few years. So she's up and coming. So when I'm not racing, I'm racing with her. So that's pretty much all I do. But like I said, follow Aspire Motorsports. They need some followers bad anyways, being a new team and all that. So we're trying to get that hyped up a little bit and get the gram on fire. Like that Schluter ride this weekend. It was pretty sweet.
That was pretty sweet.
Nice scheme.
Yeah, he's had some kick-ass schemes so far this season.
Honestly, when they revealed it, I was like, I'm not a big flame guy, right? But on the track, it looked pretty sick. I thought it looked good, but like
under the lights, that scheme is beautiful.
So like it was like matte white, and then the sponsor decals were gloss, and then they had that fluorescent 7. It was pretty slick. I liked it a lot.
The 7 definitely like makes the scheme with the way they have that fluorescent on it.
Yeah,
for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Fluorescent is never bad.
Yeah, for sure. But we don't want to. I mean,
want to keep you too long.
Yeah,
as I'm
too long,
late,
but it's definitely been fun for sure.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Thank you
for coming.
Thanks
on.
for coming on.
Good luck next week because we have sort of a curse. I just hope you guys.
Don't
bring it up, Caden. Why?
No, I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you. I promise you, it can't get any worse than the first 7 weeks. Really, honestly, we've had terrible luck. So your curse does not scare me. We turned it around a little bit this week. We're gonna start heading in the right direction. But hey, thanks for having me on.
That's true.
I was more than happy to do it, and I'll be glad to come back and talk racing anytime you guys want.
Yeah, we're gonna need you back on eventually soon.
Yeah, I'll say the one thing we did get away with, we had James Davison on before Martinsville, and then he had his best finish of the season so far. So I don't know. I think
that kind of
broke it. That kind of broke it. He got spun early on, and then he had his best finish of the season. So
well, they did have like a Talladega crash on the back stretch at Martinsville, which helped. But hey,
I mean, we
don't matter how you get there
as
long as you get there. So
that's true.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, thank you so much for being on.
Yeah, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Well, y'all have a good night and stay in touch. And good luck on the podcast. Now I'll be listening from here on out. So you'll have a new follower.
Spotify, YouTube.
Yeah,
all right,
Apple Podcast.
Tell Corey we're coming to take over his podcast.
I would love to get him on here.
Listen to it.
Oh yeah,
we get him on here.
We do need Corey on here. We need the spotter on here too. So just to make it wrap up all three.
Yeah, get all three.
Whole team.
Yeah. The whole team.
I
got
a lot of degenerates that work for me. They might be a little too wild, but we might could work on Spotter and Corey.
Hell yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Oh, on God. That'd be sweet.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Cool.
All right, boys. Well, y'all have a good night. Thanks for having me, and we'll talk soon.
Yeah, you too.
Good luck.
Yeah, you too, man.
You.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
That was fun.
That was a good guess.
That was a lot of fun. I had fun with that.
That was a lot of fun. He was one of the better ones. He wasn't Lassard, but he was up there.
Honestly, all the guys we've had this season, it's been pretty fun to have on.
Yeah, we've got a good streak going.
Venturex.
I hate you so much.
We're talking about the other kind of stuff. Venturex.
I hate you. Who's gonna suck?
Who's gonna suck? I'm gonna go with
I was talking, bro.
I don't care.
You're the youngest one here. You have no authority.
Yeah. 12, dude.
Wait, did he try and? I don't want to talk over Ryan Sparks, but did Caden call Troy 12 on the? When he's older than him.
I think I did.
You definitely did.
Troy said something. It was something, and I'm like, Troy, you're like 5'3" and 12 years old.
You know what? I'm gonna follow Troy and Nick just for the memes and say that Truex is gonna suck.
Caden sweep.
No. Why would I do that?
Because you got to be realistic.
Yeah, it's Talladega.
Oh, I've got to be realistic. In my own personal opinion, and my opinion is the only one who matters. Martin Truex Jr.
So, thanks for watching, and a special thanks again for Ryan Sparks for joining the podcast and giving us some insight on the season and some more things in the future. We really appreciate it. Good luck next week, and Thanks for watching the podcast this far. And I say and 50 times.
Yeah, you do.
Don't forget to watch us on Spotify.
Watch us on Spotify.
YouTube, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast.
Yeah.
That it.
And make sure to tune into the Talladega stream.
Yes, me and Caden are gonna be streaming the Talladega thing somewhere. Just check out my story and everything. To keep you updated and everything. And yeah, like, subscribe, leave a review, all that stuff, and we'll see you next time.